In the sweltering heat of Capernaum, where dusty streets wound between whitewashed buildings, and life pulsed with an intensity known only to small towns bearing ancient histories, a father's heartbeat became a desperate rhythm of fear and hope. Jairus was not just any father, he was a synagogue leader, a man of religious standing whose entire world now balanced on the fragile breath of his dying daughter. The weight of impending loss pressed against his chest, making each inhaled breath a labor of pure survival. His 12-year-old daughter, his only child, lay motionless in their home, her once vibrant skin now pale and translucent, her breaths shallow and increasingly rare. Every moment felt like an eternity of silent screaming, an internal hurricane of grief that threatened to consume him entirely. Something profound happens when a parent confronts the potential loss of a child, a primal desperation that transcends social standing, religious protocols, and personal pride. Jairus knew this intimately. His respected position in the synagogue meant nothing against the crushing reality of potential mortality. Titles, honor, reputation, all dissolved in the face of a father's raw, unfiltered love. He had heard whispers about Jesus, a wandering rabbi who performed miraculous healings, who touched the untouchable and spoke with an authority that challenged centuries of religious tradition. Rumors of unexplainable recoveries, of blind men seeing and crippled individuals walking, circulated like wind through the narrow streets. These were not just stories. They were fragments of potential salvation. In that moment of absolute vulnerability, Jairus' social reputation meant nothing. The carefully constructed walls of religious propriety crumbled before the urgent plea of a father facing the most devastating loss imaginable. He would risk everything, his status, his community standing, his very identity, for a chance to save his beloved daughter. The streets became a blur as he navigated through crowds, his heart pounding with a singular focus, finding Jesus. Each step was a prayer, each breath a desperate negotiation with the divine. He was beyond rational thought, beyond calculated religious discourse. He was a father, raw, vulnerable, willing to break every social norm to seek a miracle. Little did Jairus know that his journey would become more than a personal quest for healing. It would become a profound testament to faith's transformative power, a narrative that would echo through generations, speaking directly to anyone who has ever felt trapped between hope and hopelessness, between life's fragility and the possibility of supernatural intervention. His story was about to unfold, not just as a personal tragedy, but as a universal message of restoration, of hope emerging from the darkest possible circumstances. And at its core was a simple, powerful truth, that faith has the capacity to transcend human limitations, to challenge the very boundaries of what seems possible. The crowd surrounding Jesus surged and swelled like an unpredictable ocean, each person driven by their own desperate hope. Amid this human tumult, Jairus' urgency cut through the chaos, a father's determination burning brighter than the scorching Palestinian sun. His vulnerability became his greatest strength, transforming social constraints into a conduit of miraculous potential. Navigating through the pressing multitude required more than physical maneuvering. It demanded spiritual tenacity. Every step represented a profound declaration. His daughter's life mattered more than protocol, more than personal dignity, more than societal expectations. Religious leaders typically maintain distance, preserving reputation and ritual purity. Jairus shattered those boundaries, becoming a living testament to love's transformative power. Whispers rippled through the crowd. A synagogue leader seeking a controversial rabbi? The irony was not lost on those observing. Some muttered skepticism, others watched with fascination. Jairus' reputation preceded him, respected, influential, now reduced to a father whose expertise could not save his most precious possession. His professional knowledge collapsed before the raw, unfiltered reality of human limitation. Each heartbeat synchronized with an unspoken prayer, a rhythm transcending verbal communication. The distance between hope and desperation narrowed with every forward movement. Jairus understood something profound. True faith emerges not from comfortable certainty, but from acknowledging one's complete powerlessness. Peripheral observers watched a remarkable transformation. A man of significant social standing humbling himself completely, willing to be misunderstood, judged, potentially ridiculed, all for a single chance at miraculous intervention. His pursuit of Jesus represented more than a medical quest. It was a spiritual pilgrimage, challenging everything he previously understood about healing, about divine interaction. The physical journey mirrored an internal landscape of spiritual wrestling. Doubt and faith intertwined like complex emotional threads, creating a tapestry of human experience that resonated far beyond this singular moment. Jairus' movement wasn't just physical progression. It was a metaphorical journey from controlled religious performance to radical, unfiltered trust. Surrounding environmental details, the dust-laden street, the intense midday heat, the cacophony of human sounds became peripheral to his singular voice. Nothing could distract from the mission, reaching the one who could potentially reverse what seemed irreversible. His entire existence had been compressed into this singular, desperate moment of pursuit. The narrative was unfolding not just as a personal story, but as a universal metaphor, illustrating how genuine faith confronts impossible circumstances, how vulnerability becomes the unexpected gateway to transformation. Jairus' journey represented every human being who has ever stood at the precipice of hopelessness, choosing to believe despite overwhelming evidence suggesting surrender. As Jairus approached Jesus, the ambient sounds of Capernaum seemed to recede, creating a stark silence that amplified his internal turbulence. The physical proximity to this controversial rabbi represented more than a medical intervention. It was a profound act of spiritual surrender. Professional boundaries dissolved, revealing the raw vulnerability of a father whose intellectual understanding had been shattered by personal crisis. Neurological research suggests that extreme emotional states fundamentally alter human perception. For Jairus, time itself had become elastic, moments stretched and compressed simultaneously, governed by the desperate rhythm of parental love. His rational mind, typically anchored in synagogue protocol and theological precision, now operated in a state of pure visceral urgency. Remarkably, his approach to Jesus transcended conventional religious expectations. Traditional synagogue leaders typically maintained rigid theological boundaries, preserving institutional hierarchies. Jairus dismantled these artificial constructs, transforming his professional identity into a conduit of pure human desperation. His willingness to be misunderstood demonstrated a profound spiritual maturity that surpassed ritualistic performance. Psychological studies illuminate how extreme vulnerability can become an unexpected source of strength. Jairus' public display of emotional nakedness, a synagogue leader openly displaying raw, unfiltered anguish, challenged societal norms about masculinity, leadership, and spiritual expression. His transparent brokenness became a powerful narrative of authentic human experience. Neurobiological research reveals that extreme emotional states activate unique neural pathways, creating heightened sensory awareness. In Jairus' case, every environmental detail, sunlight's intensity, crowds' murmurs, distant marketplace sounds, became hyper-significant. His sensory perception had transformed, calibrated exclusively toward potential miraculous intervention. Interestingly, his pursuit of Jesus represented a nuanced theological rebellion. By seeking healing outside established religious frameworks, Jairus demonstrated a sophisticated understanding of divine interaction that transcended institutional limitations. His actions suggested a profound recognition that spiritual authenticity often emerges through unconventional channels. Cultural anthropologists might observe Jairus' journey as a liminal moment, a threshold between established social structures and transformative spiritual experience. His willingness to publicly deconstruct professional personas revealed a deeper understanding of human connectivity, where genuine emotional vulnerability becomes a universal language of connection. Evolutionary psychologists might interpret his actions through the lens of parental protective instincts, a primal drive that supersedes social conventions, professional standings, and personal risks. Jairus' pursuit represented an archetypal narrative of parental love, a force capable of dismantling seemingly insurmountable barriers. As he navigated through the pressing crowd, Jairus embodied a profound spiritual principle. Authentic faith frequently manifests through complete surrender, His movement was simultaneously physical and metaphysical, a living testament to the transformative power of vulnerability, hope, and unfiltered human connection. The crowd's murmur became a distant hum as Jairo's internal landscape transformed. Survival instinct merged with spiritual desperation, creating a force more powerful than social conventions or personal limitations. Every muscle, every nerve fiber seemed calibrated to a singular frequency: desperate hope. Unexpected interruptions frequently define life's most profound moments. As Jairo pressed forward, a woman, weak, marginalized, suffering from 12 years of continuous medical torment, touched Jesus' garment. Her touch carried decades of silent suffering, a vulnerability so profound it momentarily suspended the urgent trajectory of Jairo's mission. Physiological stress creates remarkable human adaptations. Jairo's body released a complex cocktail of neurochemicals, cortisol surging, adrenaline flooding his system, creating a heightened state of awareness where time itself seemed malleable. Professional composure dissolved, replaced by raw parental instinct that transcended rational thought. Remarkable psychological studies demonstrate how extreme emotional states activate dormant human capacities. Jairo's brain had entered a state of hypervigilance, where survival mechanisms override conventional decision-making processes. His pursuit of Jesus represented more than a medical intervention. It was a neurological rebellion against predetermined outcomes. Cultural anthropologists might observe something extraordinary: how personal crisis can deconstruct sophisticated social personas. A respected religious leader transformed into a vulnerable father, dismantling institutional hierarchies through pure emotional authenticity. His journey challenged fundamental assumptions about power, vulnerability, and spiritual interaction. Proximity to potential transformation creates its own unique energetic field. As Jairo approached Jesus, the atmospheric tension shifted. Something intangible yet palpable emerged. Professional boundaries liquefied, replaced by a pure, unfiltered human connection that defied conventional understanding. Neurobiological research suggests extreme emotional states activate unique neural pathways, creating heightened sensory awareness. Every environmental detail became hypercharged with significance. Sunlight's intensity, crowds' subtle movements, distant marketplace rhythms, all compressed into a singular moment of potential miraculous intervention. Evolutionary psychologists might interpret Jairo's actions through fundamental human protective instinct. His pursuit represented a primal drive that superseded social conventions, professional standings, and calculated risks. A father's love became a transformative force, capable of dismantling seemingly insurmountable barriers. Now, consider how this applies when you face seemingly impossible circumstances. When conventional wisdom suggests surrender, when institutional frameworks offer no solution, true transformation often emerges through radical, authentic vulnerability. Jairo's journey wasn't just about healing. It was about challenging fundamental limitations of human experience. The narrative was expanding beyond personal crisis, becoming a universal metaphor for hope's extraordinary potential. Something profound was unfolding. A moment where human desperation intersected with divine possibility, creating a transformative space that would challenge everything previously understood about healing, faith, and human potential. Uncertainty carved deep furrows across Jairo's weathered face, each line a testament to the internal storm raging beneath his composed exterior. Medical knowledge, his professional training, had utterly failed him. Scientific understanding collapsed against the brutal reality of his daughter's deteriorating condition, revealing the profound limitations of human expertise. Peripheral conversations among the crowd suggested whispered diagnoses: potential blood infection, unexplained fever, systemic shutdown. But medical terminology felt meaningless against the father's visceral terror. Technical explanations dissolved before pure raw parental love, that inexplicable force transcending rational comprehension. Neurological research suggests extreme emotional states fundamentally rewire human perception. For Jairo, time itself became elastic. Moments simultaneously compressed and elongated, governed by a primal rhythm of paternal desperation. Professional training evaporated, replaced by something far more fundamental: survival instinct calibrated exclusively toward preserving his child's life. Religious training typically emphasized controlled emotional responses, maintaining dignified composure. Yet here, Jairo obliterated those carefully constructed boundaries. His pursuit of Jesus represented a profound spiritual rebellion, dismantling institutional frameworks through pure, unfiltered human vulnerability. Social expectations fractured against the overwhelming gravitational pull of parental love. Physiological stress triggers remarkable human adaptations. Jairo's body released complex neurochemical cocktails, cortisol surging, the adrenaline flooding his system, creating a hypervigilant state where conventional decision-making processes dissolved. Every neural pathway became recalibrated toward a singular objective: miraculous intervention. Cultural anthropologists might recognize this moment as a liminal threshold, a transformative space where established social structures disintegrate, revealing deeper human connectivity. Jairo's journey transcended individual experience, becoming a universal narrative about confronting seemingly insurmountable challenges through radical, authentic hope. Psychological studies illuminate how extreme vulnerability becomes an unexpected reservoir of strength. His public display of emotional nakedness, a respected religious leader openly manifesting unfiltered anguish, challenged societal norms about masculinity, leadership, and spiritual expression. Transparent brokenness transformed into a powerful statement about genuine human experience. Remarkable resilience emerges when conventional wisdom suggests surrender. Jairo's pursuit represented something far more profound than a medical quest. It was a spiritual pilgrimage challenging fundamental assumptions about healing, divine interaction, and human potential. Every step became a declaration. Hope exists beyond observable limitations. Proximity to potential transformation generates its own unique energetic field. As Jairo navigated toward Jesus, something intangible yet palpable emerged. A space where institutional hierarchies liquefied, replaced by pure, unmediated human connection that defied rational explanation. Now, consider how this applies when you encounter seemingly impossible circumstances. When established frameworks offer no solutions, when institutional knowledge fails, true transformation frequently emerges through radical, authentic vulnerability. Jairo's journey wasn't merely about potential healing. It represented a fundamental challenge to predetermined human limitations. The scorching Capernaum sun cast long shadows as Jairo's internal landscape transformed from intellectual certainty to raw spiritual vulnerability. Medical knowledge, once his professional shield, now seemed as fragile as his daughter's failing breath. Professional expertise crumbled against the immovable mountain of parental desperation, revealing a profound truth. Intellectual understanding collapses when confronted with genuine human suffering. Intricate social dynamics surrounded his journey, revealing how personal crisis deconstructs carefully maintained social personas. Religious leaders typically maintained rigid boundaries, preserving institutional hierarchies through calculated emotional restraint. Jairo shattered these artificial constructs, his pursuit of Jesus representing a radical theological rebellion that challenged fundamental assumptions about spiritual authenticity. Neuroscientific research illuminates how extreme emotional states activate dormant neural pathways, creating extraordinary perceptual shifts. His sensory experience had become hyper-concentrated, every environmental detail charged with potential significance. Distant marketplace sounds, crowd murmurs, sunlight's intensity, all transformed into a complex sensory language communicating something beyond rational comprehension. Evolutionary psychologists might interpret this moment as a profound demonstration of protective instincts transcending social conventions. Jairo's actions revealed a primal drive that dismantled professional constraints, professional standings, and calculated risks. Parental love emerged as a transformative force, capable of challenging seemingly insurmountable barriers, demonstrating how genuine emotional commitment can reshape perceived limitations. Psychological studies reveal that vulnerability becomes an unexpected reservoir of strength. His public display of unfiltered anguish challenged societal norms about masculinity, leadership, and spiritual expression. By dismantling professional personas, Jairo transformed personal crisis into a powerful narrative of authentic human experience, a living testament to emotional transparency. Cultural anthropological perspectives suggests this moment represented a liminal threshold, a transformative space where established social structures disintegrate, revealing deeper human connectivity. His journey transcended individual experience, becoming a universal narrative about confronting overwhelming challenges through radical, unmediated hope. Remarkable resilience emerges when conventional wisdom suggests surrender. Jairus' pursuit represented more than a medical quest. It became a spiritual pilgrimage, challenging fundamental assumptions about healing, divine interaction, and human potential. Each step declared an extraordinary truth. Hope exists beyond observable limitations, waiting to be discovered by those courageous enough to challenge predetermined narratives. Now, consider how this applies when you encounter circumstances that seem completely unnavigable. When institutional frameworks offer no solutions, when professional knowledge fails, true transformation frequently emerges through radical, authentic vulnerability. Jairus' journey wasn't merely about potential healing. It represented a fundamental challenge to human limitations, demonstrating how genuine faith can reshape seemingly immutable realities. Within the intricate landscape of human suffering, moments of profound transformation often emerge from seemingly insignificant encounters. Medical research increasingly validates what spiritual traditions have long understood. Trauma doesn't merely wound, it can become a catalyst for unprecedented resilience. Cellular memory carries narrative far deeper than surface-level experiences, encoding survival strategies that transcend individual limitations. Neuroplasticity reveals our extraordinary capacity to rewire internal responses. When confronted with catastrophic circumstances, some individuals activate dormant adaptive mechanisms, transforming pain into profound regenerative potential. These neural recalibrations function like sophisticated internal software, redesigning emotional processing pathways to navigate extreme challenges with unexpected grace. Consider how systemic pressure generates unexpected strength. Just as geological forces transform raw mineral deposits into diamonds through sustained compression, human psychological systems can convert traumatic experiences into remarkable growth mechanisms. Psychological resilience isn't about avoiding pain, but developing sophisticated navigational strategies that transmute suffering into wisdom. Contemporary trauma research demonstrates that emotional wounds can become portals of extraordinary personal evolution. Individuals who successfully integrate challenging experiences develop enhanced emotional intelligence, more nuanced empathy, and sophisticated interpersonal skills. Their nervous systems essentially become advanced adaptation technologies, reconfiguring survival responses into opportunities for profound personal development. Intricate biochemical cascades accompany these transformative processes. Stress hormones like cortisol, traditionally understood as purely destructive, can actually stimulate neurogenesis, generating new neural connections that expand cognitive flexibility. This biological alchemy suggests suffering contains inherent regenerative potential, waiting to be understood and strategically channeled. Cutting-edge psychological frameworks suggest traumatic experiences aren't simply obstacles, but sophisticated developmental opportunities. Some researchers propose that psychological challenges function as evolutionary catalysts, pushing human consciousness toward more integrated, resilient states of functioning. These insights reframe suffering from a purely negative experience to a complex, multidimensional growth mechanism. Interpersonal neurobiology highlights how relational experiences fundamentally reshape individual neural architectures. Compassionate connection, whether with healthcare providers, spiritual guides, or supportive communities, can dramatically accelerate healing trajectories. These interactions provide crucial regulatory support, helping individuals metabolize overwhelming experiences into meaningful personal narratives. Integrative health models increasingly recognize the profound interconnectedness between emotional processing and physiological restoration. Holistic approaches emphasize that genuine healing transcends symptom management, addressing underlying systemic dynamics that generate disease states. This perspective transforms medical interventions from mechanical repairs to complex, multi-layered relational experiences. Now reflect on how these insights might illuminate your own challenging circumstances. Where conventional perspectives see limitation, emerging scientific understanding reveals extraordinary adaptive potential. Your most difficult experiences might contain hidden reservoirs of transformative energy, waiting to be understood, processed, and strategically integrated into your personal evolution. Beneath the unforgiving Palestinian sun, a profound silence descended around Jairus' anguished journey. Something extraordinary happens when human vulnerability intersects with divine possibility. A transformative space where traditional boundaries dissolve and unexpected miracles gestate. Medical knowledge represented mere fragments against the vast landscape of human suffering. Jairus' professional training, meticulously acquired synagogue leadership expertise, crumbled like parched clay before the overwhelming reality of potential loss. His daughter's life hung precariously, suspended between medical uncertainty and spiritual potential. Neurological research suggests extreme emotional states activate hidden adaptive mechanisms within human consciousness. Parental love operates as a sophisticated survival algorithm, transcending rational comprehension, generating unprecedented neural recalibrations that challenge conventional understanding of human resilience. Cellular memory carries complex narrative potentials beyond immediate perception. Each heartbeat represented a nuanced negotiation between fear and hope, between scientific limitation and spiritual possibility. Jairus' internal landscape had transformed into una dinámica battlefield where racional understanding confronta mística el potencial. Remarcables psicológicos estudios estudian cómo los extremos condritos generan extraordinarias adaptaciones humanas. Confrontar la potencial pérdida automáticamente burraqueras juridicales que determinan las cadenas neurotransmisores, cambiando fundamentos completamente frecuentes y civilizó profundos bomo en la certidureta sobre del holvareci. Demora sostrita dos más cañar aruno, sepedio, lido, exring lesanutil, mora fando se falle babodane a ikernit confiro fameri. His pursuit was frives representes caquesaje competencias. En varia profunda declaración existencial calubin, peterlinis aldan, narrativas utilizadas en tu segmentuban. Emergencia interdisciplinar se siempre ficharán tobeles selecciones médicas, divi strangna chommanix de daute fodidagnitits. Psychological challenges don't merely represent obstacles, but sophisticated evolutionary mechanisms designed to expand individual adaptive capacities. Jairus' journey exemplified this intricate process of personal metamorphosis. Biochemical responses to extreme emotional states generate complex neurological recalibrations. Stress hormones, traditionally understood as purely destructive, can stimulate remarkable neural regeneration, creating innovative cognitive pathways that expand individual resilience and adaptive potential. Cutting-edge psychological frameworks suggest that profound personal transformation frequently emerges through radical vulnerability. Traditional defense mechanisms, intellectual distancing, emotional suppression, become impediments when genuine healing requires complete systemic reconfiguration. Integrative health models increasingly recognize the intricate connections between emotional processing and physiological restoration. Healing transcends mechanical interventions, representing a complex, multi-layered relational experience where internal narrative reconstruction becomes the primary therapeutic mechanism. Remarkably, Jairus' pursuit embodied something far more profound than a simple medical intervention. His journey represented a living testament to human capacity for radical hope. A demonstration that genuine transformation emerges when individuals courageously challenge perceived limitations, believing possibilities exist beyond observable realities. Reflecting on this journey, we find ourselves standing at a profound intersection where human vulnerability meets transformative potential, a delicate threshold where seemingly insurmountable challenges dissolve beneath the luminous power of unfiltered hope. The narrative trajectory we've traversed reveals not merely a historical account, but a living, breathing exploration of human resilience that resonates far beyond specific temporal or cultural boundaries. Our collective understanding now vibrates with a more nuanced frequency, acknowledging that genuine transformation rarely emerges through calculated strategies or intellectual maneuvering, but through a radical willingness to stand naked before the unknown, to embrace uncertainty with an open heart and an unwavering commitment to possibility. Each human experience, no matter how fragmented or painful, carries within it an alchemical potential to transmute suffering into profound wisdom. The intricate landscape of human experience unveils itself not as a linear progression, but as an intricate, multidimensional tapestry where each thread of challenge, vulnerability, and faith interweaves to create something far more magnificent than its individual components. Our journey with Jairo illuminates this complex relational dynamic, demonstrating how personal crisis can become a portal to unprecedented growth, how seemingly absolute limitations can crumble before the audacious power of authentic hope. Emerging perspectives from interdisciplinary research increasingly validate what spiritual traditions have long understood. Our most challenging moments are not endpoints, but sophisticated evolutionary invitations. They beckon us to expand beyond our current understanding, to recognize that what appears as an insurmountable obstacle might actually be a carefully disguised opportunity for radical transformation. Each moment of profound uncertainty carries within it the seeds of extraordinary regeneration. The narratives we construct around our experiences are not passive recordings, but active, generative forces that reshape our neural architectures, recalibrate our emotional landscapes, and ultimately determine the scope of our potential. By choosing to approach life's complexities with curiosity, compassion, and a willingness to be fundamentally reshaped, we activate dormant, adaptive mechanisms that transcend conventional understanding of human capability. As we stand at this pivotal moment of reflection, something profound crystallizes. A recognition that our most powerful resource is not found in external circumstances or institutional frameworks, but in the extraordinary internal landscape of human consciousness. Here, at the convergence of vulnerability and possibility, we discover a revolutionary truth. Transformation is not something that happens to us, but a creative process we actively participate in generating. Our collective journey beckons us toward a more expansive understanding of human potential, an understanding that celebrates our capacity to metabolize challenge, to alchemize pain into wisdom, and to continuously regenerate in the face of seemingly absolute limitations. We are not merely passive recipients of life's experiences, but active, creative architects of our own unfolding narrative. In the luminous aftermath of Jairo's extraordinary journey, we discover that human resilience is not defined by the absence of suffering, but by our capacity to transform profound vulnerability into a generative force of unexpected renewal. Our most challenging moments are not endpoints, but intricate thresholds, portals where seemingly absolute limitations dissolve before the audacious power of authentic hope. The narrative of Jairo transcends a simple historical account, revealing a profound universal truth. Genuine transformation emerges not through intellectual calculation or strategic maneuvering, but through a radical willingness to stand completely exposed before the unknown. When conventional wisdom suggests surrender, when institutional frameworks offer no solutions, true healing arrives through an unfiltered commitment to possibility. Each human experience carries within it an alchemical potential to transmute pain into wisdom, to reshape neural pathways, and to continuously regenerate against apparently insurmountable odds. Our most profound strength resides not in external circumstances or professional expertise, but in the extraordinary internal landscape of human consciousness, that delicate, powerful realm where vulnerability meets transformative potential. We are not passive recipients of life's experiences, but active architects of our unfolding narrative. Our stories are living, breathing entities that continuously reshape our understanding, challenge predetermined limitations, and invite us toward expansive perspectives of human capability. Every moment of profound uncertainty contains hidden seeds of extraordinary regeneration, waiting to be recognized and nurtured. The journey of healing is not about eliminating suffering, but about developing sophisticated navigation strategies that convert traumatic experiences into profound opportunities for growth. Our capacity for resilience emerges not despite our challenges, but fundamentally through them, each difficulty becoming a sophisticated developmental catalyst that expands our emotional intelligence and adaptive potential. As we stand at this pivotal intersection of personal and collective experience, a revolutionary understanding crystallizes. Transformation is an active, creative process. We're not defined by what happens to us, but by how courageously we choose to metabolize, integrate, and ultimately transcend our experiences. Our most powerful resource is the remarkable human capacity to reimagine, rebuild, and continuously evolve. In the end, hope is not a passive emotion, but an active, transformative force, a dynamic energy that rewrites narratives, challenges predetermined outcomes, and illuminates extraordinary possibilities hidden within our most challenging moments. We are, each of us, walking miracles of continuous regeneration, perpetually capable of rewriting our stories with courage, compassion, and an unwavering commitment to human potential.